Thank you, Toastmasters and honorable guests. For those that don't know, my name is Chris Sparky. And today I'll be talking about personal development. By a show of hands, who believes that personal development is very important? Yes. It's silly to ask that because we're all here developing in our speech craft. Nevertheless, I have the pleasure to sit in the audience and watch each and every one of y'all brilliantly perform. You ladies and gentlemen add so much value to me, and I just want to say thank you. A quote from Harriet Tubman. She says, "I have freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves." I grew up in a household that was riddled with drugs, alcoholism, violence, and low education. I became a product of my environment. I became a product of the culture of the streets. I did drugs. I drank alcohol. I promoted violence. And I was uneducated. I was truculent. I remember vividly having a conversation with a man named Ray, which was one of my mom's friends. I was about 20 years old at this time. And I thought that I was at the height of my street life. And when I say that, I mean I sold drugs, I gangbanged, I robbed, I stole, I pimped, I did anything you could think of. And on this day, I was walking through the door of my mom's house. And immediately, as I walked through the door, I must have been looking like some type of rapper or something. Because Ray says, "Boy, you need to slow your down before you end up somewhere you don't want to be." I immediately get aggressive with him. I'm like, "Ray, what you say?" My mom jumps in the middle of us. She's like, "Chris, you need to listen and grow your motherfucking ass up before you really end up somewhere you don't want to be." That was right. Eventually, I did end up somewhere I didn't want to be. In them circumstances, I had to reevaluate the person that I was. I had to ask myself, is this the person you want to be? Harriet Tubman resonated with me. I became a slave. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. The mind is the greatest prison or the greatest programming that we can have. I'm a man of God. In my calamity, God was there for me. He says, "I work all things together for your good because you are called according to my purpose." I began to read, I began to write, I began to educate myself. I became very aware. I became intentional. Personal development became my life and my life's work. See, it's not about where you come from. It's not about where you're going. It's about, are you growing? And how are you growing? Personal development is not a destination. It's a lifestyle. Jim Rohn said, "The greatest work you will ever do is the work you do on yourself." It's stuck in my heart. I would encourage everybody here to take the gift of personal development, because it's your treasure. To reach your fullest potential, you become great. I never knew my life would take a twist and a turn, but I'm glad I learned from the School of Hard Knocks. And if I could tell you anything, like Harriet Tubman, free yourself on the inside, and you'll be able to grow yourself on the outside. Thank you.